What's up, everyone? Christian Duke, StrengthAddicts.com, here with men's physique competitor Kevin Haramis and TC Muscle's Brian Hoydic, here at Gary Udit's 2018 NPC North American Championships. So, Kevin, how did you do on the stage out there?
I'm still at a head rush from everything that happened. I actually was in the first call out, moved to the end, and I got moved all the way into the center to share either a second or a third place spot. So
very cool.
A lot of work.
You got a lot of dense muscle, I can see. I mean, that's you know, men's physique is getting harder and harder, but I mean, yeah. You're right up there in the mix. Brian, what was it like working with Kevin here? And again, he's really dialed in. I mean, it's very, very impressive. All of your people are dialed in, but
yeah,
this guy...
he's another hard worker, you know, followed the plan, did everything he's supposed to do, checked in frequently, you know, came and see me at the gym once or twice a week, and, you know, and then it paid off for him, obviously. You know, he started they pulled out 8, and they moved him in, so he moved 3 times, so that's pretty impressive in my opinion, you know.
And that means judges, like all the judges wanted to see you, and they wanted to see you up close. Yep. You know what I mean? And a shot from the distance was just not going to cut it.
Yeah, and them 8 that they pulled out, they were good. You know, I was real impressed that he got pulled in like that. At first, I didn't know how it was going to go.
Right.
But then when they put him in there at that 8, I was like, oh, they can move him in one. Oh, they can move him in one. You know,
So Kevin, like mindset-wise though, and I know that this is all happening in split seconds from the audience's perspective, but from the competitors. It could feel like an eternity. What was it like moving around and then ultimately winding up in the center?
For me, my goal was to make that first call out, and for me, posing is something that is really important for me that I practice year round. So I knew if I got in the first call out, all I needed to do was pose, and it paid off, and I kept moving the spot in closer and closer each time they turned us around. So that's what posing and conditioning is for.
Now, one thing about Brian, he has a lot of competitors, but he's someone that's got the quantity and the quality. Usually it's either or with a lot of coaches. He's got both. Talk to us about working with him in terms of how accessible he was, how often he'd get back to you. I mean, he did mention that you'd go to the gym a few times a week. Talk to us about that.
No, I reached out to Brian actually before the summer before I actually joined him, and I said, hey, I'm looking to possibly make a move, and when the time's right, I'm going to come to you. And I called him up about 5 weeks out of nationals after I got injured last year, and I said, hey man, I want to be the best that I can be, and I know that you get me there, so when can we get started?
Absolutely.
I was sick of just waiting, and I pulled the trigger, and we haven't looked back since. So.
Absolutely. I mean, you really know what you're doing, Brian, but also in addition to knowing what you're doing, in addition to being a pro, you got a lot of pro cards to your name. Yeah. A lot.
I like that.
So, I mean, you know, actions speak louder than words. So, you know? There you go. Okay, so social media for you guys, for Kevin, and obviously also for Brian.
Yeah, so my Instagram is @KevHaramis. It's KEVHARAMIS.
Brian Hoydic at
Instagram. He's like, yeah, there you go.
Wait, hold on, we're gonna bring Kenny in here. Come on in here.
Oh, yeah, come on in.
Kenny was a big part of this too.
My gosh, yeah.
He helped Kev a lot.
Like I said,
Kev couldn't pose for shit.
Posing is very important to me. And I went straight to Kenny for posing advice since April. So I've been posing with Kenny for like four months now. So.
Big difference.
Huge difference, and brought out the best of my physique that I could. So.
And that was one hell of a testimonial from Brian there, Kenny. What do you think about that? You know, from Brian Hoydic from TC Muscle.
I love him.
What was it like working with Kevin though, from the posing standpoint?
Great working with Kevin. You know, when he worked hard and everything that we set out to do to practice for the next session, he always brought it, and then we just kept moving further. And you know, of course, Brian, you know, you got to give it all to him because he made Kevin look the way he looked, and then, you know, he did the follow through with doing it. He led him to the water, he drank, we worked it, it wored. It was a great
and you know, Kenny's another one like Brian. Kenny, you have a lot of clients, but you also have a lot of quality. And again, usually it's quality or quantity. You guys have both. You guys both hold up the bar really high.
Kenny, you want to be the best, you work with the best. You know?
Exactly.
I tell everybody.
Exactly. So thank you very much. And Kenny, your social media, your website, anywhere people can go?
I guess my Instagram is just Kenny Wallach.
And you're out of 3 gyms, right? You told me?
Yeah, I'm in 3 locations. I have a Connecticut, Manhattan, and Boston.
There you go. There you go.
Sometimes Cleveland.
And sometimes Cleveland.
Wow. and every once in a while, everywhere. There you go. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for Kenny Wallach, Brian Hoydic, good Lord, and
Kevin Haramis.
Christian Duke, StrengthAddicts.com, and TC Muscle.